There is definitely some amazing artwork on Webtoon, and it's not about comparing every artist, it's about appreciating the strengths each Webtoon has to learn from it. I have been dying to make this video as a freelance comic artist, and finally I am making it. Hope you like it. And if you have a special webcomic or recommendations that you want to have covered in this kind of series, comment down below. First, Instant Miso from SIRENS LAMENT. This artist has been working so hard on her webtoon since she started around 4 years ago, and especially when you see the progression of her artwork, it's really impressive. I love the way she draws water. It's amazing how a simple grading of black and color and bubbles make the trick sometimes. I really like her character designs. Although it is a simple style, it's quite an attractive one. That's very smart because you are trying to make it pleasing to the eye. At the same time, each webtoon creator, especially when they get featured, you will have to draw over and over again, and especially featured creators have to do around minimum 40 or 60 panels each week, and usually they do around 90. And something I really love about this artist is that I started my own webtoon especially to try to challenge myself to draw lots of men, for example, because I really had a hard time drawing men. And she was an inspiration to me because she draws a lot of men, and especially she has to know about the anatomy of drawing men because the comic is about sirens, even if the correct mythological term used to be mermaid, but it doesn't matter, it sounds great. Is Instant Miso drawing the guys all the time obviously makes her better. She gets lots and lots and lots of practice. To any new creator hoping to improve on something that you are bad at drawing right now, this is an inspiration on how practice and study helps you to become a better creator. Also, may I add that I love that when she needs to take a break from Webtoon, whenever possible, she makes these cute little comic strips so her absence doesn't feel as sad for her readers. This is a webtoon that was already pretty good when it started, but it consistently became even better. Which, if I can be honest, that doesn't always happen. It's hard to carry a story this long and keep it interesting. I really respect this author's work ethic on both the story and the artwork. And even her progression from her comic Tangents, where Tangents Meet in 2015, it's really impressive how much she has improved. Next we have Rudisen from Phantom Paradise. If you are an admirer of Chinese culture aesthetics, you will appreciate this person's artwork. Though, like many webtoon creators, the art is especially lovely at the beginning in the sense that at least they tend to have a little bit more time before they get featured and they get into the very heavy grind of producing at least around 90 panels or more per week. I love the backgrounds, the costumes, and the folds in the clothes are pretty well done. The amount of detail this author puts in their artwork is what caught me most of everything. I even had so many screenshots of many parts of their comic. The thing is, you don't have to go as detailed as this person. There are many beautiful, great comics that aren't as detailed, and still you can see the skill of the artwork, like Solo Leveling, for example, a very popular manga. However, again, this is what made this webtoon stand out to me. I was sold pretty quickly on the amount of work and love the artist puts even in the background characters, the patterns in the clothes, the jewelry, the symbols, etc. This webtoon made me realize I could easily make beautiful patterns, then save them as PNGs and just scatter them or put them as the background or in curtains and stuff, and it makes it look so much better. But the amount of textures this creator knows how to use is amazing. I think it's also pretty smart the way this artist uses the long vertical format to their advantage. From flowers to show a transition to the way you can appreciate a whole scene from just one character's point of view. a whole lot of detail, and this person takes advantage to bring a great webtoon with such visuals. I personally love the worry of doing very clear backgrounds as beautiful establishing shots, because many comic artists, especially at the beginning, and I also have these mistakes sometimes, we are tempted to only do characters and to skip the backgrounds, and we are missing out in a great opportunity to sell our comic to the readers. On top of just it's necessary to have backgrounds to communicate to the reader where we are. And yeah, let's be honest, I don't know much about Chinese culture to obviously the point this person knows, and I love the fantasy approach to hell and heaven they are having. Next one of my favorites in the whole platform. It was so inspiring when I found it. This gem, LACKADAISY. I never imagined I could find this gem on Webtoon. The artist is called Tracy, and she has one of the best character action I have seen in the whole platform. Different poses, expressing intent, and being super dynamic. The expressions are so clear and well done, you barely could need dialogue for many of them. Not to mention there are really so many funny different scenarios, and I wish I was better at comedy, so I love when creators do have that gift and they use it and they work on it. Something very interesting that the author does mention is that her drawing cats allows her to exaggerate certain expressions. Even the position of the ears can say a lot. It makes sense that 2D animation and in general have made so many animal movies, because it can really tell a whole story with even more limbs than the human body, with more props, like just the position of the tail or the position of the ears. I've heard there are some picky people that do not love an old photo aesthetic she has going on, especially at the beginning. However, she does improve it. To some people, they like it more. Anyway, every artist does get better as the comic progresses. And obviously she improves even more because she's an artist that doesn't only practice, she also studies fundamentals. And a combination of practice and study will make you better way faster than your competition. Tracy was working in a game studio for a long time, just updating her comic on the side. And one day she finally opened Patreon. And because she had been doing this comic for many years and there was already a big community that loved it, her Patreon became flooded right away. And she's one of the most successful artists, especially in comics, in all of Patreon. And I really recommend, if you are thinking of making a Patreon for your comic, check her Patreon out, and especially her video is amazing. It's such good quality. The site is very convincing and professional, and honestly, it's an inspiration. Now, this level of quality to her artwork almost doesn't compare to her attention to detail, to the research to bring out a realistic portrayal of the 1920s. Even taking her love to the point of living in an old house and taking pictures to give a loyal portrayal of the time. Now, the precious artwork does have a huge disadvantage, and that is obviously it takes even longer to publish each update. However, there's a very long backlog of chapters, so if you're interested in reading this story, you are not going to have to wait a lot. You have lots of chapters to read. LACKADAISY is also in talks of becoming an animated show, and there are many comic artists whose dream is to have their manga become an anime or their comic become a show, and LACKADAISY is a great example of this dream coming true. Also, may I comment, Tracy is an MVP. This is how I will call the comic creators that don't only make comics, but they also share tutorials and other stuff. Obviously, she's not like that active on that anymore, but I really recommend those tutorials to any beginner artist. Anyway, if you have Webtoon that you want me to revise and comment for a video like this, comment down below, and like this video if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!